Hi, and welcome to my channel, Mimi on the Move. If it looks like I'm in my winter flannel PJs, it's because I am. This is a little update video today of what transpired in my day, yesterday and today. I'm not feeling good. I've been to the urgent care facility today earlier, and they gave me a shot in my hip to alleviate some pain, and they required that I stayed there several hours after the shot, even though I have a bed in my home on wheels here where I'm sitting now. Um, by law, they can't let you get into a vehicle that you have the keys for after one of these shots. So anyways, let me just explain to you what happened. And first of all, welcome back if you've been here before to Mimi on the Move, and I've definitely been on the move. And if you haven't been here before, welcome to Mimi on the Move. And please consider subscribing to the channel and clicking on the bell for automatic notifications when I make a new video. Yeah, so what happened? I took on a new job because if you've been following my channel at all, you'll know why I no longer have my other part-time income. And if you haven't been following my channel, look back on the videos about betrayal. I was betrayed by somebody that caused me to have to leave my employment and change my life's routine completely. So that's why I was out looking for new jobs, and I went to one yesterday for the first day, and it ended up an epic failure on my part due to some issues with my back. I'm not going to go into how I received my back injury 25 years ago. In the year 2000, I broke a couple of transverse processes off of my back, as well as cracked vertebra and 3 broken ribs from a fall at work. I had a 1.5 year recovery and 2 back surgeries during that 1.5 years. Because I was pretty fit back then, I'm 72, so whatever that makes me 25 years ago, I was pretty fit and healthy. The 1.5 year recovery could have been a lifelong struggle of recovery, but I healed pretty darn good, and I was able eventually to get back teaching my fitness classes and living a really normal life, in my opinion. I've had some bad moments, without a doubt. So if you want me to ever explain that accident in more detail, I will on another video, but only if you request it, because who wants to hear about other people's injuries, right? That's not always the most fun thing. Anyways, what happened? So I took on this job at a tree farm, and it was only going to be for 3 weekends prior to Christmas. And it would be several little things to do at the gate, but it required movement, which I love. It required lots of bending, which I used my squats instead of bending, and but a lot of standing, and this is where the problem came in. I was dressed very warm, everything was going well, but I did notice nearing lunchtime, I noticed the pain started for me in my lower back, which is, and my legs. That's where I get my most amount of pain when I get it, right? But this kind of pain doesn't happen very often. My regular discomfort pain is pretty much daily, and I live with that, and I'm all right with that. But this is different. This is quite different. This makes me immobile, is what it does. Anyways, so yeah, around just before noon, I started feeling the effects of that kind of standing and movement that was required on that job. So by the late afternoon, I was really, really concealing my pain. And at the end of the day at 5 o'clock, when it was getting dark, I just wanted to go to bed. And I do have my emergency pain relief medicine from the doctor. And I don't like to use it, but I do use it when I have to, because being in that kind of pain is excruciating. And if you've ever had that sort of problem with your back, where it's been severely injured and you've recovered, but you've got this residual. Now, you would think after 25 years, oh, she should be good to go, right? 25 years ago. No. I believe as we age, any past injuries on our spinal column come back to haunt us. At least that's my case. And the older I get, the more episodes I have of that kind of pain. But yesterday's pain was, and this morning was beyond bearable. And I had to walk into the office of my new boss, and I had to do my best to keep the tears off my face, because that's not what a boss wants to see, is tears on your face. I did my very best to explain, I'm just going to take myself to the hospital now, and I'm terribly sorry about this. He was kind and offered me to have his family member take me to the hospital, but I already had thought about that because I shouldn't have been driving. I know that. But here's the thing. Everybody that would be there today is needed, vitally needed, because the amount of people going to be showing up today to saw down their tree or pick a pre-cut tree, they need all hands on deck. And my body let me down, and that meant I let my boss down. And for that, I'm very hard on myself. Nobody has to be harder on me than me, because I really believed if I worked hard all day yesterday and I got a good sleep last night, I would be good to go this morning. That's not what happened. Anyways, at the end of the day, I went back up to park at my boss's house, and I just went in and, gave all the money that I took in the day. Well, whatever, I gave in. Anyways, I'm a little bit dopey right now, so I might not be getting all things accurate. Yeah, so I went in and I said my good nights to everybody, and it was like literally 5:20. It wasn't very late, but I knew I'd be hitting the hay right away because I couldn't stand it any longer. And I was planning to have a dinner, and a nice gentleman from that place dropped by yesterday and brought me some lunch, which I didn't take time to eat. So I knew I had that to eat. All I had to do was warm it up, which was really nice. And Orville, if you ever see this video, thank you very much. And anyways, Mike, my boss, his wife, Millie, didn't want me to leave the house until I had eaten. And so she brought me in the kitchen and made me some soup and cannelloni, which really was delicious and most appreciated by me. Then I didn't have to go back and heat up that food. I knew I could have it for the next day, which is today. Anyways, I did that, and sitting in that chair, I could barely get out of the chair. And when I finished my meal, and I then walked through the office and thanked everybody and said goodnight. And they had offered for me to plug my house in electrical. So it's really hard to get my back drawer open on my unit here. So it's a drawer that's almost impossible for me to pull out and push back in. So I tried, and that was the final straw for my back. I never did plug in. I don't need to really anyways, but they did offer it. And I managed to get the drawer closed and back into my house. And I did take a couple of pain medications and went to sleep for several hours. And when I woke up, it was because of my back and my legs were completely spasming out. And that kept me awake most of the night. Yeah, it was rough. So this morning, when it was a half an hour before I needed to go into the office, I knew I had to tell my boss that I'd be letting him down. And that was hard enough. But I did. I went in. He was by himself, thank goodness. And I handed in my aprons and said, I'm so sorry. I have to take myself to the hospital. And he kept saying to me, no, I'll have Karen take you. But here's the thing. I knew that when you get to the emergency, you're going to wait anywhere from 3 to 7, 10 hours. And that would mean either Karen leaves me there and I need somebody to pick me up later, or that means Karen doesn't work that day, and which would be ridiculous to even think. I would never put anybody in that position. So I insisted to him that I can take care of myself, and I was quite adamant about it. And he did offer a couple of times. I think he saw the state I was in. I'm sure he wasn't pleased with that, but there was nothing I could do about it. And off I went. So when I got to the hospital, I couldn't get in And there was a lady out there, and she saw my struggles, and she said, well, maybe I can just go in and ask for a wheelchair for you. Anyways, all of that happened, and I was able to get wheeled into the hospital. The emergency was very long, very waiting, and they needed the chair. So I sat on the bench chair, which I literally couldn't sit at all. And finally, one of the nurses came over to me and she said, you know what? She says, you're not actually in emergency because it's not life and death right now for you. What I would suggest to you, because I can see the kind of pain you're in, ma'am, why don't you just go to urgent care just north of Nanaimo? Go to urgent care. You're going to get in and get dealt with long before you're here, right? So I thanked her for that and got the address and put it in my phone for, the GPS, right? So I managed to get myself up there, and I didn't wait longer than an hour. And they did give me the shot in my hip for the pain, and it worked, but they wouldn't let me leave. Just in case I had decided to drive away, you're not allowed to. So I spent several hours there laying on one of those stretcher things, and eventually they let me come back to my home and drive myself back to where I wanted to be, which is where I am right now. And this is where I'm going to stay for, I don't know, maybe a couple of days. When this has happened in the past, it's usually been a 3-day ordeal. And so I will expect that now, and I will hope that it's not. That's what I'll say about that. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm really wiped out, and I just wanted to give an update and explain what happened. When you break your back at some point in your life, if in other bones, and all the other injuries that happen before the actual break happens, is all that tissue to go through, and all, it does leave it scarring, and it leaves you, even though I was very fit up until that accident. I became fit again after the surgeries that followed the accident, and I continued staying as fit as I could for a long, right up until now, right? I still do my exercises. I still go to the gym. I don't teach anymore, as you know, if you've seen my other videos, but I stay as fit as I can. So this would be way worse if I already wasn't healthy. So I'm not going to do too much complaining, but I'm going to do a lot of relaxing if I can. I've got my stock medication, which I'll definitely be using for the next couple of days. And it's all I can do right now just to get off my bed if I need to go to the washroom, which is literally 3 feet from my bed. It takes 10 minutes to get there. So right now I'm going to be planning ahead for everything. I put a bunch of fresh cat food out for Mr. And I will give him some fresh meat tonight. I'll manage to get that done. And as far as my dinner goes tonight, I've got some nice chicken wings in that from my friend Orville. So yeah, I'm good for food tonight. All right, I'm gonna go. And even though I'm feeling this way and hurting and kind of down on my luck with the job right now, I'm gonna still live with purpose. Purpose right now is my purpose right now is to heal, and the passion will be in believing I will heal and working on that, and with positive intention. So I'm absolutely positive I'm going to be feeling well in a few days. So I may not get a video out, I don't know. But yeah, and that's it. Okay, so love to everybody, and thanks for listening to my woes today. I hope that when I see you next time, I'll be feeling better. If I'm any better tomorrow, I'll just give you an update on how I'm feeling. How's that sound? Okay. So yeah, until then, Mr. and myself both say, see ya, and I'll check in later. Bye for now.